For the final video in this series of 5, I'm going to talk about why points are lost at the pen and some tips on how to pen successfully. So I hope you've enjoyed and found the other videos educational. There's been a lot of information in them, and I think they should help you pen successfully. What are the deductions, if you're trialing, that you will get for, or how will you lose points at the pen? Usually the pen is assess so many points, and when you lose those points, then you're done. Ways you can lose your points are by the sheep circling the pen. Each time the sheep circle, you lose a point per sheep per circle. So if the sheep circle the pen several times, you're going to lose all your pen points. And once they learn that they can circle, it's very difficult to get them in the pen. So you're much better off to slowly bring them up to the throat of the pen and ease them in, because like I said, once they start realizing, hey, we can go around, it's very difficult to get them in. So once you lose all your points, you're done. Or if there's a time limit on the runs and you run out of time and you haven't gotten the sheep in and closed the pen, you're done. You've lost all your points. Or if the judge feels like you're failing to make progress. Let's say you have one sheep that fights your dog and keeps running off, and you can't seem to get them all up into the throat of the pen, or they've broken away several times and it's taken a lot of time. The judge may just call you off and thank you, because you're not making progress and you can't hold up the whole trial if you're not ever going to get it done. Other ways you can lose points are, let's say your last obstacle was over in this corner and you need to bring the sheep straight to the pen, and if they would happen to come up here on their way to the pen, lose points for not keeping them on a straight line. If you're trialing, you always want to keep track of your lines because they're very important. If the stock keep breaking away, every time they break away, you're going to lose points. If you touch the stock with your body, like a hand, or the crook, or a stock stick, you lose points. You may be disqualified, probably will be disqualified in that situation. If your dog touches the sheep by gripping them, you're probably going to be disqualified too. When you put the sheep in the pen, some people like to kind of jam them in at the end with the gate. And if the gate hits them as they're going in, some judges will take off points, some won't, some will disqualify you. So it just depends on the judge. There's really no reason to do that. Let your dog push them in the pen. If you've got them this far, your dog certainly can push them in the rest of the way till they're past there. And if you need to, back your dog out so you can shut the pen. Those are the main ways that you can lose points. Another thing you should know is that if you get one sheep in the pen and you shut the gate, and then you send your dog to get these other two that have gone to the other end, you can't open the gate and add these two in. Once you shut the gate, your pen is complete. Once you open the gate again, this one's probably going to come out anyhow, so it's really hopeless to do that. Some tips. Main tip is use your dog. Your dog is faster than you are. Your dog reads stock better than you do. Use your dog. Let them put the sheep in. Let them handle the stock. If the stock feel like your dog controls them, they're going to go where your dog wants them to go. If they don't feel that way, they're going to go everywhere. You're not going to be able to hold them if they're very cantankerous at all. So do not lay your dog down behind you and pen the sheep yourself. Please do not do this. Your dog is there for a reason. Let your dog work. Your dog's going to handle them so much better than you ever could. So please do not let your dog down and push them in yourself. Okay. Remember, the sheep can go under our imaginary rope. You've always got to keep that in mind. And if you push them too hard, if your dog especially pushes them too hard, they will jump over the pen. And I've seen that happen too. So if you have a forward-moving dog and they apply too much pressure, and push them over the pen. If you have a sideways moving dog and the sheep don't want to go in, you may not get them in the pen. Sometimes you'll get sheep that face up to your dog and your dog has to back them into the pen. And if you have a sideways moving dog, they may not have the power to do that. Remember that sheep react to your dog and to you differently. So if the sheep have been staying far away from other handlers and you think, well, that's how it's going to be, that doesn't necessarily mean they are going to stay really far from you. It just depends on how you interact with them and how your dog interacts. And one other thing you want to remember that's really going to help you a lot is if your dog has a hold and the sheep start to break, let's say they're in the throat of the pen, they start to break, tell your dog to hold. Let them decide where they need to be to hold the stock there in front of them, because you're not going to be able to react quick enough and give cues quick enough for them to be where they need to be. But if they know you want them held right there, then they can do it themselves. So use your dog. And the last thing I would ask you to do is practice. Practice until this is automatic. You don't think about the cues. If you have to think about the cues that you're going to give to your dog, it's too late. They just have to come out of your mouth. So just practice, practice, practice until it's just automatic. Those are my thoughts on penning. I hope you found this educational. Please tell your friends and spread the herd.